How do you explain this? Hi, I'm Rebekah, and I work as a ghost tour guide in one of the most haunted cities in the southern United States, Wilmington, North Carolina. Follow along with me. I'm going to show you some of the most haunting photos captured on my ghost tour, and then we're going to go back to those locations during the day to see if we can figure out what went bump in the night. I'm Rebekah, the Ghost Guide. This could be an entity easily missed if the photographer had not been paying close attention. It makes me wonder how often these foggy images are captured and the photo is thrown out over the assumption of it being bad quality. At first glance, I thought I saw a skull wearing a hat and a jacket, but when I traced over the image, I see a man with a beard and either thick hair or a cap. Many of you also saw a man or a familiar face. Then there were also those who saw animals such as a deer or a bear. Whether human or animal, it can be hard to tell. The location of this photo was taken at one of my favorite to visit on the ghost tour. Welcome to the oldest recognized burial site in Wilmington, St. James Graveyard, which dates back to the early 1700s. Did you catch what I said there? Oldest recognized burial site. There are plenty older unrecognized ones down the hill that have buildings on top of them. But that's a story for another episode. St. James Graveyard is special to me because it's the first location we went live from a few months ago, and so many spirits made themselves known to both Jay and myself, as well as live on TikTok. That episode, while admittedly elementary in filmmaking, is on this channel if you're interested in checking it out. I'll leave a link at the end. St. James Graveyard has seen its share of almost 200 years of burials. Those burials included early settlers of Wilmington, sailors, merchants, Revolutionary War soldiers, farmers, children, Civil War soldiers, yellow fever sufferers, and plenty more. Plenty to pick from when it comes from our new friend in this photo. As far as the exact location of where he was captured, it's a bit unclear to me, as the church building has symmetrical features all around, and the photo is very dark. However, it appears that it was taken right around here before this tree lost its leaves for the winter. Out of all the people and time periods that I just mentioned, is it possible to figure out where our new friend comes from? I did consult a few of my costume designer friends, as well as people who understand fashion throughout the decades, and the general understanding would be that he may be from the early colonial period, which would also make sense for this time as well. It would be very early to when the burial ground had started, and it looks like he was a fan for not shaving, which I think nowadays we can all understand. Perhaps he was not as wealthy of a fellow, and potentially a sailor, because I know on the high seas it's probably not easy to shave a beard, and it would be very commonplace to wear a cap. Potential time period that this man may be recognized from could be either the late 1500s and into the early 1600s. It's possible that he was an early explorer from Europe, going up and down the Cape Fear River and trying to figure out different places to settle. Now, he would have had a hard time of it because there were native peoples here living around Wilmington during that time. However, eventually there were English settlements moving up the Cape Fear region well into the 1600s. All that said, I feel like there are many time periods that this man could come from, considering we don't have a lot of specificity on what he's wearing. I would really love to hear what you think down below. What is this guy doing walking around the graveyard at night? I can already hear some of the comments saying how burial sites can't be haunted because no one died there. This is when I say no one you know of, anyway. There are still people who are terrified of being buried alive today. It did happen, sometimes. Yet another story in this graveyard for another day. Another option would be this spirit being more residual in nature. Perhaps he isn't buried here and used to walk through this area to go home when he was alive. Market Street used to be even busier than it is today. Or maybe he is buried here and likes to hang out near his body for safekeeping. Whatever the reason, I don't see him going away for good anytime soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow along for more, please consider subscribing down below. I've got a lot of really cool content that's about to come out, not to mention travel content as well, so I'm going to be traveling to some different cities and telling ghost stories from there. Thank you again for following on TikTok, on Instagram, and for emailing me stories, personal accounts, and photos and videos. I love seeing what you have to share with me. Thank you so much. And lastly, if you would consider contributing to me making these videos, each one takes about 10 hours for me to do, and this is on top of all of my day jobs. Anything that you can contribute means less day job for me and more videos for you. Thank you so much.